I think resistance bands are some of the best equipment you can have for calisthenics training. If you don't believe me, I'm going to give you several reasons why bands can level up your results whilst showing you how. There's two types of resistance bands you'll typically see. There's the tubular type with handles at either end. They tend to be weaker, but they still have their place, particularly for warming up. Then there's the flat looped bands, which can come a lot stronger and are much more suitable for calisthenics in my opinion. So what are the pros of using bands for calisthenics? Firstly, they are suitable for all experience levels. Bands vary from light to very strong resistance, and they can be used at every stage of training, from newbie beginner all the way to very advanced. That's because they can be used for assistance or resistance. For example, when I started training, I used bands to help me build up the strength for pull-ups and dips, two of the major movements in calisthenics. This helped me to transition into doing the full bodyweight movements, and now, after many years of training, I'm doing the opposite and using bands to add resistance. Pull-ups are a difficult exercise for most, and nowhere are bands more useful than in building up your pull-up strength. If you want more information on that, download the free ebook for a pull-up program. It's ideal to have at least 3 bands of varying resistance, from light to strong, so you have room for progression in your exercises. Bands are super lightweight and portable, very easy to take with you for outdoor training or even to travel with. I like to travel very light, but I'm still able to throw a couple of resistance bands in my carry-on luggage without sacrificing too much space or weight. It's the equivalent of taking weights with you without being weighed down. Bands are affordable. Next to your body weight, which is free of course, they are the most cost-effective form of equipment, especially when compared to weights. If you wanted to obtain the same resistance variability that bands provide, you'd need a hell of a lot of weights, which most of us don't have the space or money for. They increase joint stability and muscular coordination. When starting to use resistance bands, you might notice you feel a bit shaky. That's because, unlike free weights, where the load is constant and predictable, the load from bands can change as you move through a range of motion. So your stabilizer muscles have to work hard to prevent excess movement, so you move through the exercise smoothly. If you try to go too fast in the beginning, there's a chance you'll lose control of your movement. This encourages slow and controlled form in order to maintain that stability, which is so much better for your progress and preventing injuries. The more you train with bands, the better your muscular coordination will become, and you'll notice that when you start to shake less. Of course, no piece of equipment is perfect, so there are a couple of downsides to bands. This one applies to more experienced people. Unlike using weights, the load from bands is not the same throughout the entire range of motion. For example, with a banded push-up, locking the arms out will be much more difficult than the press off the floor. Obviously, because the band tension is the greatest when your arms are locked out in the push-up. Therefore, your muscles aren't tested equally throughout the entire range of motion. For that reason, I like to include weighted movements also, which I can use as a more accurate benchmark for my strength level. But don't think I'm saying bands are inferior to weights, guys, because bands have helped me to increase my strength in weighted exercises, so I definitely wouldn't be without bands. But for testing your strength in compound exercises such as pull-ups, push-ups, squats and dips, weights are the more accurate way to do that. The other potential downside of bands is that they aren't as durable as weights. If not looked after properly, bands can degrade over time. I've had bands break on me in the past, but that was mostly because they were either poor quality or I stretched them way beyond their capacity. If you buy good quality bands, they will last you a long time. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more. For more calisthenics training tips, click here. Or if you're interested in a custom calisthenics program, click the link in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay vital.